So, hi, I'm Rona, and prior to getting started with Dr. Etka and his ADHD rescue program, my son was suicidal. He had already spent a weekend in a inpatient residential facility. He was in an alternative school program, and they were beginning an IEP evaluation on him. So it was terrible. We didn't know what to do. He felt unaccepted at school, and for us, he had just come back to me. He had been staying with his dad for 3 years, so and he didn't act like that in his dad's house, so it was really a shock. His profound behavior at school caused me to be there every day, spending a couple of hours with him in a room, helping him do his homework or schoolwork or whatever. So that was a daily thing until he went to an alternative school. So that was our life before Dr. Etka. Our first appointment with Dr. Etka was calming. He was very accepting of us and of my son, who's 9. And it was no pressure to act a certain way when we were in the waiting room. There was no pressure for my 9-year-old son to sit down and be quiet and sit up straight and do this and do that. There was no pressure. He was totally accepted how he came into his office. We did the evaluation and the questionnaire, and I filled out the questionnaire. However, I let my son fill out the part where it was red and green or whatever to state how he felt on the inside, and it broke my heart when he marked all red. And so that meant he didn't feel good about himself at all in any fashion. He was basically bullied and ostracized at school by peers and administration alike, so as well as I felt the same way. The exercises and the medical techniques Dr. Etka uses in his ADHD rescue program were life-saving. I use his exercises as my son has an issue with going to bed at night, so I use the exercises to mentally and physically calm him down and prepare him for night. So that's one of our nighttime bed rituals. And he does it for a while, and then when I see him getting physically tired, he's like, okay, I'm ready to go to bed now. So the exercises stimulate his brain. It gets the extra energy out at the end of the night, and he's just ready to rest and relax. And so that's what the program has done. And even during the evaluation, I could see some tendencies of my son to be one-sided, if you will. And when you get into the program, you'll understand what I'm saying. And so he had he favored one side more than the other. And as we went through the program and I started watching him at home and noticing his balance issues and things like that, I was like, wow, he is unbalanced and unequal in his body. Well, now he's more balanced in his body. He's more coordinated even. He's even, although we homeschool now because that whole process was just too much. So we homeschool now, and with the techniques and things that Dr. Etka uses with my son, he more accepts himself and loves himself. And he's on vacation now, and the other day I spoke with him, and he was like, I need to see Dr. Etka. I don't feel good. My back hurts. I don't feel fully functioning in my body. That was one of his words, but that's what he was expressing. So he now knows the difference of how he used to feel, how he feels when he gets his service from Dr. Etka, and how he feels when he doesn't get his service because he probably hasn't seen him in about a month because he's been on vacation. So he notices the difference when he's not in the program. However, he's still on the supplementations and doing that program. In fact, when he first went to visit his dad didn't give it to him one day. I don't know if it was an experiment, but he noticed a darkness over our son, and he really was dark. like he just was dark. And he called and was concerned. I said, well, did he have his vitamins? And he was like, no, it really makes that much of a difference. I'm like, yeah. So he is on board. When I sent him for the summer, he was like, make sure you go to Dr. Etka and get everything he needs. And when I go check up on him tomorrow, I'll make sure he's straight. And if not, I'll get what he needs with Dr. Etka and send it on. So everything that the program does is necessary. It may seem silly, it may seem irrelevant. Even with Dr. Etka playing ball with my son outside, so I'm like, really, I'm paying for this, but it's what my son needed. And watching Dr. Etka with my son also taught me some new skills. And going to his information sessions a couple times taught me some new skills. So he's equipped my son with skills and exercises and acceptance, and thus helped me to accept my son and his gifts. And my son now uses his gifts. One success is his last days in his alternative school program. He kind of took over science, and he decided the project. He got all the classmates involved. The teacher let him run the class. He conducted the experiment, and it was a successful day. He actually got 100% on behavior. They graded on behavior there. So he got 100% on behavior that day. So he organizes when he's outside playing the games, and so he knows his gift is leadership. And so we foster that in the household, and we use that also in our homeschooling. He directs his learning. So we do child-directed learning, and we do science and math because those are the things that he's interested in and wants to learn. And it's astounding how much he knows, how much he has retained from the public school system. However, it wasn't fitting to him. So we homeschool, and that's something he asked for years, and I just never did do it. So, but Dr. Etka and the registry program gave me the confidence and some skills for that as well. Hope for the future. We just keep on with the exercises, continue to see Dr. Etka as long as we need to, even on just the medical technique side, the medical necessity side. And say it really, he loves Dr. Etka like a mentor to him. Dr. Etka advises him, and I think that one-on-one coaching time that he gets with him to ask questions, get advice, and that patience that Dr. Etka has, it's almost scary because Dr. Etka is so calm. It's like, wow. And it gives you hope because you're like, okay, if Dr. Etka started out like this and ended up like that, yeah, awesome. That's going to be my son in the future. So that's our hope for the future. And actually, my son wants to be a pediatrician. So having Dr. Etka in his life, knowing that he can come from where he started and go to the top like that, is giving him life.